You may be seated. Dear friends, we are gathered here tonight, this afternoon, to join together in holy matrimony Mr. David Pierre Phillips and Miss Dorothy Sandra Tucker. Before we share in the familiar words of the marriage ceremony, I should like to say to both David Phillips and to Dorothy Tucker that as you enter into the state of matrimony, you should know that you enter into one of the most fulfilling, but also most difficult relationship of all. We all know that it is difficult these days, with all of the pressures around us, to sustain the commitments and vows we make. And so, before even reading these words, so familiar, sometimes easy to say, may I remind you of the words of St. Paul, who said, "Know ye not that your bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, that you are not your own, but you are bought with a price, and that the goal is that you will glorify God in your bodies." Today you stand side by side, and words you say will be designed to call you into one family. Perhaps it is important to explain to you today that the thing that will keep you together is the power of the Spirit, and the wedding ceremony is a symbolic expression of your recognition that the Spirit in you and the Spirit in you is the same Spirit, and that Spirit provides the glue by which this relationship is held together. And as you remember day by day that you are indeed the temple of the Lord, and as you hearken to the voice of the Spirit, you will be given instructions by which your relationship may become full. It is my prayer for you today that you do not even attempt to sustain this relationship in your own strength alone, but that you come to a profound reliance upon that power which is above mere human power, by which the twain are going to be made one. And so today, may this wedding ceremony be also a time of the revitalization of the Spirit in each of you, so that the future will be bright before you. If this is understood, then perhaps we shall begin. Dear friends, we are gathered here in the presence of God to witness and bless the marriage of David Phillips and Dorothy Tucker. Marriage is a gift of God, sealed as a sacred covenant. We acknowledge the gift of human love, given that two people may know each other with mutual care and companionship, sustaining them in heart, body, and mind, so that they may be present to the changing circumstances of life. David and Dorothy wish that all present may share their joy today. In this service, we unite them in the name of God, Mother and Father of us all. As you stand in the presence of God, together with family and friends, I ask you to remember that love and trust are essential for a sound and enduring home. The promises you make today are the most sacred and tender human vows of caring and commitment. If you honor your promises, you will live together in peace and share joy with one another and with all who know you. I ask you to accept responsibility for each other. You are called to create a relationship of care, consideration, and respect, which will sustain and empower you to face the delights as well as the anxieties of human life in such a way that makes your married life come alive. You are called to celebrate each other with laughter, passion, patience, and intimacy. Today, as you make this formal commitment to marriage, the future stretches before you in all its mystery and surprise. The values you choose and the meaning you create for your common life will provide the foundation for your response to joy and to sorrow, to commitment and to uncertainty. In the divine nature of your love, you may discover the strength you need, and in your humanness, you may receive the loving presence of God. Love consisteth in this, that two solitudes protect and touch and greet each other. Guard this intimacy as your most precious possession. You are called to the sacred covenant of marriage. I ask you now to affirm your willingness to enter this relationship and share whatever the future may hold. David, will you have Dorothy to be your wife, and will you love her faithfully as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Dorothy, will you have David to be your husband, and will you live and love him faithfully as you both shall live? Will the families of David and Dorothy please stand? Do you, members of the family, come to offer your blessing and loving support to this marriage? If so, say we do.
We do.
You may be seated. Now I ask all of you witnessing these promises to pledge your encouragement to the commitment that David and Dorothy are making today. And if you will do that, will you say we will?
We will.